I try to think.
You're about to meet the most famous Scottish voice in Flanders, Gavin, who's been living in our beautiful country for 33 years now. And as this is the week of the historical Scottish referendum, we had to fill you in.
I actually came here for a summer job in the beginning, back in 1980 for the first time, and then 1981 I had a summer job between study years at university. And then I went into advertising by getting a job in Brussels, as I always thought I better get a real job. Purely because I'm Scottish, I got through the milieu that is advertising. Somebody was looking for a Scots voice to do the voiceover for a well-known Scots whiskey commercial. It was 6 words, you know, no rules, great Scotch.
No rules, great Scotch.
And so I sort of did it 4 times, no rules, great Scotch. And the 4th time, fine, that's it. And off I went, and that was the end of the story.
We meet him at the Scottish weekend at Aldenbiesen, where we asked him about his life and his thoughts on the Scottish referendum.
A little unreal, of course, is the reality. It's a little bit bizarre suddenly arriving in a foreign country, essentially, although this happens to be home for me, and finding, you know, more people who are more Scots than actually you are, and more Scots than many of the Scots. You don't find this kind of weekend in Scotland very often, that's for sure. The music and the bagpipes and the drums, you're reminded of how beautiful it is, because it really is a beautiful country, Scotland. The referendum is clearly one of the biggest constitutional events in British history for the last several hundred years. It's definitely major, and it's becoming a major talking point, not just north of the border, but south of the border too. But there's a certain amount of antagonism being created. There's always a sort of a Scotland versus England situation. They are literally it says in Scotland, the old enemy. Some of the issues that have festered for hundreds of years are likely to become an issue again soon. Being self-determinate or to being independent, it's an obvious choice. Who doesn't want to be independent? Who doesn't want to have the freedom to make your own decisions? Who doesn't want to be governed by people who are, you know, closer to you than somewhere else? But do we really want to break up things like the BBC? Do we want to break up the British flag? The whole idea of being a nation, if you wish. There's not an easy answer to these things. One moment of the day it's yes, and the next moment it's no, depending how the heart's feeling, depending how the head's thinking.